Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome inside the Fan Cave. This is the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Bob Pompeani here. Andrew Fillipponi over at 93.7 The Fan, as we dissect yet another Pirate loss and another Pirate way of losing, which is to say no offense, good pitching, and not much else to show. So now, Andrew, they've gone 19 straight games with 4 runs or less. That is one of the more brutal stats you will hear. And again, it just wasted a good pitching performance by Mitch Keller. What's a starting pitcher to do? Last night, Skeens 1 run in 6 innings. Tonight, Keller 2 runs in 7 innings against a good hitting team, and they have 2 losses to show for it. I don't know what's going on with Brian Reynolds. He's a guy that you know is historically a, quote, slow starter. This is beyond slow. He's one of the worst ranked outfielders in terms of hitting and defense right now in all of baseball.
He looks old to me, and that's a problem because he's 30 years old. Looks much older than that. Looks older than McCutchen from the way he moves out there. His defensive skills have eroded because he's basically a statue out there. And, yeah, he runs hard when he hits a ground ball, but he doesn't get the first base in time because he's not fast enough. So you're hitting 200. You've got no speed. You don't really bring much to the table defensively. And there's another $80 million left on that contract, Bob. They're paying him into his mid-30s. I mean, that looks like an albatross deal right now. You know, I'm excited whenever the Pirates give out money, especially when it was the first $100 million deal in team history. But this looks like a really bad contract right now. And he's got no support in the lineup whatsoever. O'Neal Cruz is out. That's one thing, you know, but this is not a long-term injury. It's a temporary one. And when he's out, there's no one else who hits. I mean, Bart, 0 for 5, gets on base, but only hits singles. Andrew McCutchen, when he's out, you miss him. He had an off day. And you feel like you're missing Andrew McCutchen in his prime when he doesn't play right now. Key Brian Hayes has a high batting average. Bobby's got 1 home run.
Right.
So there's just
you can argue
no
that's another bad
offense
contract. You know, it's not all that much money, but you pay for that to try to get offense. You know what his defense is. It's fine to have a Gold Glover. Appreciate all of that, but you got to hit a little bit. But at least he's hitting to get on base a little bit more. But 1 home run from him, 1 from Bart. Outside of O'Neal Cruz, really, there's no one on this lineup who puts any power on the table, and that's a big problem.
No, and power's expensive, so it's hard to get. You've got to draft it if you're the Pirates, or you've got to trade for it, and they haven't been able to do that. Even Spencer Horwitz, they trade for him. He's a guy that's going to try to hit 300. He's not going to try to hit 30 home runs playing first base. Baseball is more and more a power sport, and they've got zilch, they've got nada, they've got none of it. O'Neal Cruz is the closest thing they've got to a legitimate power hitter. And you need multiple power hitters in order to strive. Unless you're going to win games playing small ball 2-1 every night. And we've seen this Pirates team is just incapable of doing that. They created a team, Bob, that really needs to stress itself to the limits to score 4 or 5 runs in a game. And that's just not the way baseball is played in 2025.
Right. Or they could have realized that they had a terrible offense last year and gone out and spend more money the right way instead of what they did to add to what is a good pitching staff that only should get better when Jared Jones returns and Bubba Chandler's called up. We'll need to take a break here, Andrew. When we come back, we'll talk about the Steelers in Dublin against Minnesota. You hit this a couple of weeks ago, I saw. Most people thought it was Packers. You said Minnesota. It turns out to be the Vikings. We'll get into that matchup and talk about what other interesting matchups there could be for the Steelers when they unleash the schedule tomorrow. That's all coming up as we continue on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. All right, welcome back. This is our Xfinity Mobile tweet of the night. Left-hand pitcher David Shields. We went out and did a story on him during his season as he completed his high school career, where he was taken by the Kansas City Royals 2nd round. The Pirates passed on him, by the way, and he is moving up quickly in the Kansas City organization. The lefty, whose dad is a really good golf professional up here at Nevillewood. We see him down at the Dome, but David Shields is on his way up, and that's good to see, but the Pirates may regret.
So that means he'll be working with Aaron Rodgers in his swing awfully soon, Bob.
Yeah. No, I don't know about that. First of all, I don't think he's going to even join. Why would he join? He can go on wherever he wants. He doesn't need to join. Anyway, I got some tweets, and I want to get back to you in a second. But Camo says, fire Ben Cherington for building a franchise like it was year 1 when it's year 6. He should have been gone with Shelton. Ryan Zedek says the Pirates lineup in year 6 of a rebuild will get any other GM fired by now. And then Matt Choate says, time for a lower body injury so Brian Reynolds can get a couple of days off to regroup. He does need some time away. I don't know what you do other than give him some time to kind of regroup in there, but they need him as much as they need anyone else in that batting order. Let's talk about the Vikings and the Steelers. I said you had this, I don't know when it was. I saw it a few days, weeks, whatever it was. Most people thought Packers, but I thought at the time about Packers, if Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers, I don't know that they want that game to be the game that they choose for. What time is the game? 9 a.m., 9:30 a.m. All right, that's too early, and it's the way the Steelers are on national TV a lot in prime time, that sounds to me more like a prime time game at some point as opposed to something in Dublin.
Yeah, I don't think it had as much to do with that, though, from what I've heard. I think this had more to do with the fact that the Steelers wanted the Packers game in Pittsburgh as a protected game because of all the money it would generate for this region and for Pittsburgh. This is a game they wanted at home because Packers fans travel well. It's a huge matchup, two historic franchises. And look, they're losing a home game to Dublin. This is going to be, instead of a season with 9 home games, it's only 8 because they've jettisoned that game to Ireland, which is fine. But I don't think they wanted to lose everything that would come with a Green Bay game here. Green Bay, Dallas, these are the big franchises that travel. And so I think they wanted that game here. And I totally get that. And I think the NFL, to your point, Bob, probably obliged because of what you said. If it is indeed Aaron Rodgers, that's going to be one of the signature games on the NFL schedule this season. His game against the team where he won 4 MVPs and won his lone Super Bowl. So, yeah, you don't want that game when people are just waking up drinking their coffee, especially if you're out on the West Coast. Imagine if you're a Steelers fan out in L.A., Las Vegas, 6:30 kickoff.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's ridiculous. It really is.
I agree.
And I get it, but an NFL game should not start for fans at 6:30 in the morning.
But they are, hell-bent on taking this product, and they moved it all over the place. 8 different locations now. They have the Friday night game, the Black Friday game. They have the how many different sites? I know there's Berlin, there's Madrid, there's all sorts of sites here. By the way, that's our KDKA.com Connect question of the night. I want to hear from you. What is your opinion of NFL international games? You're a fan of it, indifferent, or not a fan of it? But they're going to only increase the amount of games that you see here. So we'll see how that goes. In the meantime, what would be your classic opener before we get to the lines at 412-575-2600? Week 1 is always one you look forward to. We'll know at this time tomorrow night. We have an 8:30 special here on KDKA Plus to break it all down. What's your best guess for the Week 1 opener?
Well, unless it's a Monday night game, the Steelers are going to start on the road again because the Pirates have a Sunday day game at home. The Sunday of Week 1 of the NFL season. So I guess it could be a Monday night. Aaron Rodgers has opened the season on Monday night. Well, that would be something. I would not rule that out. But if I had to guess, well, actually, that's a really good call, Bob. So I don't want to copycat you now. I don't want people to make fun of me for that.
I've heard you look at all their options. I mean, Justin Fields versus
now, have you heard that? Is a little birdie telling you that? That's a good call if they are.
No, I'm just speculating.
Is that just a Bob? No. You've got educated guesses galore because people are telling you things.
No, I'm just saying.
I know you.
Would you like that as an opener, though?
Absolutely. The other one I thought of was at the Bears. Now, if it's Aaron Rodgers, great, because it's him against a team he's always had a rivalry with. And if you think about the Bears, they're obviously a trendy team this year because they made the Ben Johnson hire, and it's year 2 of Caleb Williams. And Steelers, Bears, 2 huge fan bases that you pull in. So I'm going to have that pegged, Bob. This is my prediction. Remember this. I think it's going to be Week 1, 4:25 on KDKA. Steelers at Bears with Jim Nantz and Tony Romo at Soldier Field.
Well, we'll take that one if that's the case.
Remember that.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. All right, back to the phone lines at 412-575-2600. Just rattle through some of these. And it's our number 1 Cochran Go One Better caller of the night tonight, Jack in Mount Lebanon is first up. His thoughts on NFL international play. Hey, Jack.
Hey, hi, Bob. Hey, when these games are played over in Ireland or whatever, the people that work for the Steelers in the stadium lose revenue. That's their living. Why?
Again, the NFL is in a business of growing, and they're growing faster than any sport. They know what it is. They're very good at PR and marketing. I'm not sure how it works with those guys. I'm sure they're compensated in some way. At least I hope they are, Andrew. But this is not going to end. You know, they've had London on their sites for a lot. They have 3 London games this year. In fact, Minnesota's going to play back-to-back games, Dublin and then London against the Browns. So that's interesting. But yeah, you see different cities all over the globe now. And I don't think, if anything, it's going to get more, not less.
No, you're right. Yeah, I mean, think about this one. You've got the Chargers and Chiefs that open the season in Brazil. And I'm guessing that's going to be a Chargers home game. And so if that's the case, and that's 2 teams in the same division, both teams in the playoffs last year, Bob.
Yeah.
So that means that the Chargers aren't going to have a home game against the Chiefs, and the Chiefs are going to have a game at Arrowhead against them. Could you imagine if the Steelers, say, played a game in Brazil against the Ravens and it was the Steelers' home game, and they never had an actual home? I'm serious, though.
No, I wouldn't want it.
That's pretty much what's going on with that. I don't agree with having these division games.
I agree with you.
Taken internationally because it throws off the competitive balance of these divisions.
Totally agree with that. And I also, you know, we saw last year how it was backloaded with division games. I'm not totally on with that. I would like to see some sprinkled in a little earlier than that. But, you know, I know what they're after, and they're going to try to make it so it's must-see to the final bitter end with all these teams in the division. But that goes against the grain there with them. Back to the lines, we got Kirk and Manor. Go ahead, Kirk. How are you? Welcome to the Sports Call.
Good evening, guys. Hey, I just want to run a question past you. Why does not Nutting trade Paul Skeens for something he covets most, which is cash? And why have him waste years of his time?
Because he's not going to do that. He's a drawing card, and they're going to keep him here. You know, he'll be here for this year and I believe 3, maybe 4. I'm not sure how it works. At some point, he will be traded because they're not going to just sign him to the kind of money he's going to want. But you're not going to do it now. It makes no sense to do it now. Would you disagree with that?
No, I wouldn't disagree with it, but I'm scared that he's going to want out sooner rather than later. That's what worries me. We know how competitive he is. I don't think he's got a high tolerance for incompetence. And he transferred colleges to get a better opportunity. He knows how much power and leverage he has. I just wonder about that. I'm very nervous about that, actually. That Skeens just looks at the situation here and says, what am I doing playing for a team that doesn't know what it's doing, that is starting another rebuilding cycle? That would be my concern, is that these players now ask for trades in every sport. Could that happen?
Well, I
don't
mean,
know.
It could, but if it does, then the Pirates would lose leverage there, number one. And again, they have, the way it's set up, they have his rights all the way through. So you can do what you got to do, but I don't think it's going to change much. But I do hear what you're saying, and he should be getting frustrated. You can see how he is. He was very critical of himself last night. He should have been critical of his offense. Let's go to West Mifflin, and I can't read that. Who is that? Ted. Hello, Ted. How are you?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that this idiot owner who turned our one proud franchise into a laughingstock now is sickening to me, and I can't wait till football.
All right, Ted, thank you very much. Let's move along to Cole in Harrisburg. You guys have been waiting for a while. I'd like to get you on. What's up, Cole?
So, just calling in tonight, we saw Pete Rose lifted off the ineligible list, along with Shoeless Joe Jackson, some other guys. I'm a Pirates fan. I have a lot of respect for Rose for what he did for the game of baseball. I mean, one of the best pure hitters of the 20th century. He said in interviews he knew this was going to happen. He knew he was going to get in when he died. Manfred even said in his statement, like, the only reason we're lifting him from this list, difference from when he appealed in 2015 to now, is the fact he passed away. Lost a lot of respect for Manfred with this. He Rose should have been in a while ago. But
I agree.
Anyway, my question was, he gets in. The way he could get in is through one of the oddball ballots MLB has, where it's 16 voters, players, executives, that kind of thing. I think that makes it easier for him.
It may make it harder, Cole, because some of those guys may not like him or may not like what he did after the fact. You can go either way with that. I agree with your original point, though. I think he deserves to be in as a player, and there are people in there who are in there with all sorts of questions about them. I believe he should be in there. Do you, Pony?
Yeah, but I don't think he will because of what you just said. I think either the baseball writers, I'm not really exactly sure how this works right now, But I think that there's going to be people that just believe that the Hall of Fame is not the appropriate place for Pete Rose.
Yeah, and we'll see how that committee is made up and who is on it, and that will determine, I think, what goes on. Need to take a break. Come back with more right here. It's the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. We're live on KDKA+. Josh Taylor standing by with what's coming up tonight at 11 on KDKA News. JT.
Bob, here's what we're working on. Tonight, heavy rains bring major flooding to parts of our region. We're showing you the damage, and Ray Petlin's tracking what's still ahead. Plus, Penn State University leaders confirm which branch campuses they're planning to close. It's ahead at 11. See you then.
All right, Josh, thanks very much. Pony gave you credit. Pacers in 5. I couldn't believe it. 114-105. The Cavaliers just completely fell apart when you, to me, least expected it. Tyrese Halliburton, Pascal Siakam, and yes, our man McConnell. I saw his father there tonight, and he's going on to the Eastern Conference Finals. Pacers, and it could be Knicks, who are up 3-1, and they're in trouble in Boston because Jason Tatum is done for the rest of this playoffs, it looks like.
And now they got to beat New York 3 in a row, and the Knicks were basically built this offseason to beat the Celtics, and after losing every game to them in the regular season by double digits, they've come back and they've won 3 games here. Bob, how about Mikhail Granlund for the Dallas Stars tonight?
Hat
a guy
trick,
who
baby.
I thought was awful for the Penguins. Ron Hextall was basically run out of town because of that deal. He has been awesome for the Stars, and you're right, he's leading them to victory right now against the Winnipeg Jets.
And let's talk about Winnipeg real quick because Connor Hellebuck has completely fallen apart too. On the road, he'll be 0-5 now. Goals against of 5.78 based on these numbers.
Man.
You never expected that from a guy who's going to win his 3rd Vezina. Crazy. All right, we're out of time, Pony. Thanks as always. Appreciate that.
See you, Bob.
We'll see you again later this week. In the meantime, thank you for joining us. We'll see you again tomorrow night, 10:35, right here for the Sports Call. Have a good night.